Hi, welcome back. We have a cracked tooth today. I already had my assistant start on some of this, so I am catching up. But in the administration phase, we've designated 18 as a zirconian crown. I will show you the pre-op. We will talk about why we're doing this. As you can see in the pre-operative image, this tooth was cracked. So there's a huge crack running across the occlusal surface of that tooth. It's also uncomfortable to chew hard or crunchy food. It also fails a tooth sleuth. So these are all leading towards, hey, this tooth is cracked. You can literally see it even on the scan, and that's typically doesn't happen. In that, even if tooth's cracked, a lot of times you can't see it on the scan. In this case, you can. So my suggestion was, hey, you should do a crown on this tooth before it breaks into two pieces or more. And she said, I think that's a good idea. And so here we are, ready to design her crown. So we'll start as we always do by trimming our models. Miss Allison has already trimmed a lot of this for me. It's going to help her out a little bit here on the opposing arc. And then we can check our model axis. So I always tell my staff that I trust them to do a good job. I just verify what they're doing is exactly what I want. That was our ethos in the military. We trust but verify those who are working with us. So okay. Now let's see. Our draw margin here. Set that. There we go. Okay. So I can see that margin really well. We're going to start by drawing a circle. I don't really care where the circle is. It just needs to go around the tooth. There we go. Now, when it starts to get up here, you're looking at it and you're probably like, well, where's your margin, Dr. Rich? There it is. The computer found it. I can see it. Again, we rely on color. We rely on elevation changes. I know that it's super smooth because I just prepped it and felt it with my Explorer, just visualizing it in the patient's mouth. And so that tells us this is where our margin is. So that I'm super happy with. That should work well. Just got to fix the part that the computer struggled with some. So not an issue. I'll just come in here and adjust this margin line to show where her tooth stops and my crown begins. Pretty difficult prep. Patient had limited opening. Also, we're like literally in the back of her mouth. So it made it challenging, but we got it done. Okay. Looks good to me. Search and axis is parallel to the long axis of the neighboring tooth. So that will slide right down parallel with that opposite contact. We have no undercuts. That all looks good. Now, if I were you and I was looking at the tooth, I'd think, man, there's really not a whole lot there. It doesn't seem very tall. Ferrule's probably not going to help you keep that crown on much, but we can bond zirconia. We've got enamel all the way around our margin. We've got proper bonding techniques with 50 micron aluminum oxide to prepare the crown in the lab. We've got Monobond Plus as a primer or a silinating agent. And then we use our Scotchbond Universal adhesive and Rely X Universal resin cement. Bond this. What's up?
I was just getting ready to see when I can do my crown.
Yeah, we're getting there.
Okay.
All right. So as always, when we're looking at the most posterior tooth, we want to encourage that tooth to stay against that contact. So we're going to reduce the occlusion that may encourage distal drift. And we will encourage that occlusion or make that occlusion a little more pronounced that's pushing that tooth forward towards that contact. So pre-op, oh, it's fine. I'm going to bring this distal buccal marginal ridge up some, or distal buccal cusp up some, so that we've got even a little more encouragement for that tooth to stay in its position or keep that contact nice and tight. Okay. Fissure height's good. Occlusion looks great. Contour of the tooth looks okay. I have no problem with that contour. Let's check our contacts. Our proximal contact is almost perfect. I don't like it to come down that far. I want there to be separation between the floss popping through the contact and then coming down into the gingival sulcus. So we're going to smooth that just a little bit. All right, last thing we need to check is our articulation. So what happens when this patient's jaw moves left, right, forward, and back? So we got a little bit of interference there. Form remove, we'll get rid of that. The purple functionally generated path tool works as a shield. So if I use that form remove tool, I will only remove the pieces of the tooth that are interfering. We won't remove anything that's not an excursive interference. So that's helpful. Okay. You should be ready to roll. I may bolster this contact just a little bit. Because why not? Let's just make it just a little bit tighter. And it's going to end up looking the same, but this means that it was a good proposal to begin with. So we are happy. We've got a tooth we're ready to manufacture, and we will certainly be bonding this in so that we can keep it on.